Hey Pisces. So at the end of Jan 2026, Neptune, which has been in your ascendant sign, will finally move out of your first house and into your second house. Yeah, that's a major change that's gonna happen. Neptune has been in your first house for past 14 years, and it's gonna go ahead and be in your second house for next 12 years. Neptune has made you a lot more sensitive, a lot more psychic while it was in your first house. All those aspects tend to go to your second house now. Topics of money can be confusing. You can get creative when it comes to making money. You could be using your creativity to make money. You can get creative in terms of cooking. Spirituality is something you might depend on for self esteem. Your self esteem might be a confusing topic. You might rely on your self esteem based on how creative you are or based on how psychic you are, while Neptune is in the second. Saturn has been in the first house for the past 3 years, and it will finally move into your second house around Valentine's Day. Saturn is gonna stay in your second house until mid April 2028. So that for the next 2 years, you most likely will have financial issues. Saturn can also have a stabilizing effect, so it can also stabilize your finances. You might feel like you're working way too much and you're not getting paid enough with Saturn in the second. You could have restrictions regarding the food that you can consume. You might get serious with cooking or your diet, especially your food. You might get serious with budgeting. You care a lot more about money while Saturn is in the second. Saturn kind of makes you serious and makes you responsible for whichever house it goes in. Saturn makes you shoulder a lot more responsibilities when it comes to your money, when it comes to you dealing with your income. You might not be spending thing frivolously as before. You might have way more intentionality in how you spend money and how you make money. You could be getting serious regarding your savings or regarding your future plans regarding money while Saturn is in the second. Saturn goes retrograde at the end of July 2026, and it stays retrograde until almost the middle of December 2026 in Aries, which is your second house. So things can slow down a wee bit more, or there could be extra blockages while Saturn is retrograde, or there could be reevaluation, redoing, and revisiting topics of second house while Saturn is retrograde. Uranus moves into Gemini, which is your fourth house, in the last week of April 2026. And it's gonna stay there for next 8 years. Uranus has been in your third house since past 3 years. Uranus in fourth can make you not super attached to your family. You feel a lot more independent from your family. Once Uranus gets into fourth house, you are doing your own thing. You treat your family more like friends. There could be sudden issues arising regarding your home, the place where you stay, or regarding your family. Your mom's behavior could feel a lot more erratic, or your family relationships are suddenly there and suddenly not there. You could be moving a lot while Uranus is in the fourth house. You might feel like your home life or your family situation is a bit more unstable than before. Or you might be into weird architecture or weird styles of home decor. Jupiter stays in your fifth house in Cancer for the first half of 2026 until the end of June. And from June and onwards, Jupiter goes into Leo, which is your sixth house. So, the first half of 2026, Jupiter is gonna make you focus more on your hobbies. You're having a much easier time with your kids. You're enjoying your time more with your kids. You are indulging way more in hobbies. You are probably starting a bunch of new projects that you might want to convert into businesses in the future. Your dating life or love life is pretty good while Jupiter is in the fifth. Jupiter is already retrograde, and it stays retrograde until second week of March 2026 in Cancer, which is your fifth house. So while Jupiter is retrograde, things can slow down a bit. revisiting or reevaluating stuff in your fifth house, which is the house of children, house of hobbies, house of dating, romance. And at the end of June, it switches to your sixth house. Jupiter enters Leo, your sixth house, at the end of June, and it's gonna stay there until the end of July 2027. So, for that 1 year, where your work life becomes a lot easier, you might not be working as much as before, or your work life is a lot easier, your colleagues are nicer to you, your health is better. You might have some issues regarding your diet, though you can put on weight while Jupiter is in the sixth, so take care of that. But all in all, a good time. You could be having more luck changing careers or getting into better careers while Jupiter is in the sixth. More luck in terms of cracking interviews, more luck in terms of clearing a competitive exams and stuff. Jupiter goes retrograde in mid December till mid April 2027 in the house of Leo, which is your sixth house. There could be again some delays or redoing and revisiting and reevaluating stuff in terms of your career, in terms of your work, in terms of your daily routine, your health. North Node in the first half of 2026 is gonna continue to stay in your first house, and South Node is gonna continue to stay in your seventh house until the end of July 2026, where it moves into your 12th house. North Node moves into your 12th house, and your South Node moves into your sixth house. Now, first, the 1-7 axes are pretty potent for relationships and for self image, self concept. With North Node in the first house, you're probably more focused on your appearance, you're changing your style, you're learning new makeup techniques. By the time North Node is out of the first house, your self concept, self image, the way you present yourself to others have improved and changed. You are all for self improvement while North Node is in the first house. The first half, South Node in the seventh can bring you relationships, karmic relationships. You could be dating someone you have already dated before, your ex might be in your life, or you could be meeting the person that you're gonna get married to while South Node is in the seventh. They could also be breakups or endings of relationships while South Node is in the seventh. So North Node is gonna stay in Aquarius from the end of July 2026 till the end of March 2028. When North Node moves into your 12th house, you could be spending more money. You could be more into spirituality, spiritual stuff. You could be doing more charity. You could be traveling abroad, or way more into abroad travel than before while North Node is in the 12th house. The expenditure is one negative thing while North Node is in the 12th, so uh, please take care of that. Now, South Node switches to your sixth house, so there's a lot of activity and changes regarding your career, your job, your place of work. Your colleagues can change, the kind of work you do can change. You might be getting pets, or you might be disconnecting with older pets and getting newer pets. There might be changes regarding your fitness, your health. And whenever eclipses happen, they activate these nodal placements. So eclipses in the 1-7 axis and eclipses in the 12-6 axis can activate these areas. The first eclipse happens around 17th or 18th of Feb, depends on where you live. New moon in Aquarius. This is partial solar eclipse. It is not as potent, but there could be some new chapter or new way of spirituality, or new way of how you spend your expenditure, things in terms of spirituality, or you traveling abroad, or new breakthroughs in terms of mental health. March 2nd or 3rd 2026 is full moon, which is total lunar eclipse in the houses of Pisces and Virgo. So major changes in terms of your relationships, in terms of your relationship with other people, in terms of your relationship with yourself, and also your business. Next eclipse happens around 12th or 13th of August. This is new moon in Leo, which is your sixth house. This is total solar eclipse, so it is pretty potent. So, major changes when it comes to your career and how you deal with your co workers, major changes in terms of your health, in terms of your daily routine. Next eclipse happens around 27th and 28th of August. This is full moon again in Virgo Pisces axis. This is partial lunar eclipse. It is not as potent. Again, changes in terms of yourself, self image, in terms of your relationships and your businesses. Mercury goes retrograde in water signs for the year 2026. Mercury enters Pisces in the second week of Feb and it stays there for 67 days. Mercury enters Cancer in the beginning of June and it stays there for 69 days. Mercury enters Scorpio in the beginning of October and it stays there for 67 days. Mercury goes retrograde at the end of Feb and it stays retrograde until the end of third week of March in Pisces for 22 days. Now, Pisces is your first house. So, Mercury in your first house, you are redoing or revisiting or reevaluating topics, and the topic is you. There could be delays in communication, there could be misinformation. Mercury retrograde in Pisces, the topics can be your physical health, your style, your self image, self concept, pretty much anything regarding you. Mercury goes retrograde at the end of June until the end of third week of July in the house of Cancer for 24 days. Cancer is your fifth house, so there could be misinformation, delay in information, reevaluating, revisiting, redoing stuff regarding your fifth house of children, your hobbies, the creative projects, your dating life. Mercury goes retrograde in the last week of October until the mid November in Scorpio, which is your ninth house, for 20 days. There could be misinformation or delay of information in travel, in academics. You could be revisiting or reevaluating topics related to legal stuff and your faith or religion. Venus goes back and forth between your 8th and ninth house, which are the houses of Libra and Scorpio. Venus stays in Libra for 75 days and Venus stays in Scorpio for 79 days. Venus enters your 8th house of Libra around the second week of August and it stays there until middle of September. Venus re-enters Libra in the last week of October and it stays there until the end of first week of December. Venus in Libra is a great time for fertility, is a great time to get pregnant. You have more money while Venus is in Libra. You have less money issues. You can get inheritance or you're getting bonus or you're making good investments. You're getting money from your investments while Venus is in your 8th. It's a great time for physical intimacy, great time for emotional intimacy, great time for finances. Pregnancy is also very likely while Venus is in the 8th. Venus goes retrograde around last week of October till the middle of November in Libra. During that time, there could be things slowing down or reevaluating or revisiting the topic regarding 8th house. Venus enters Scorpio, which is your ninth house, in the second week of September until the end of third week of October and the second week of December until the end of the first week of Jan 2027. Venus in Scorpio is a great time for having good time regarding academics, your college life. Your academic life is pretty good while Venus is in the ninth. Your professors are good to you. You're studying things well. You have easier time with academics. You could be traveling a lot more. You could become a lot more spiritual. Good religious time. Legal stuff is also pretty good while Venus is here. Venus is retrograde in the beginning of October to end of third week of October in Scorpio. There could be some slowing down or reevaluating or revisiting stuff in this house while Venus is retrograde. There is no Mars retrograde in 2026. Mars goes back and forth between Leo and Virgo for both 2026 and 2027. Mars stays in Leo for 141 days and Mars stays in Virgo for 150 days for both years. So you can plan accordingly. Mars enters Leo, which is your sixth house, at the end of September, and it's gonna stay there until the end of third week of November in 2026. Mars in the sixth house can make you way more focused in terms of work. You could have disagreements or fights with your colleagues. You could be working out more. You have way more energy in terms of your daily routine, in terms of your health, your fitness routine. Maybe you could be doing way more work while Mars is in the sixth. Mars enters your seventh house in Virgo in the last week of November, and it stays there until the end of third week of Feb 2027. Mars in the seventh can give issues with relationships. There could be disagreements or fights with your partner. There could be disagreements or fights regarding your business. You could have way more energy and focus in your partnership, so you're probably more focused on business, or you are doing way more activities with your partner while Mars is in the seventh house. That is your 2026 Pisces. Hope you have a good time. Take care, Pisces.